Today is June the 9th, 2025. Very eventful day because my wonderful student, don't turn around. My wonderful students, Matthew, 10-year-old from San Jose, California, are working with me, Franca, in Texas, Houston.
Yeah.
We're preparing for National B history competition and other cool stuffs. And I'm very proud to say my students report to me he did my homework, he watched Lawrence of Arabia over the weekend. And he said he understands 100%, which I don't think so. If he understands 50%, he's already wonderful and he's ready to do the national championship. Make sense? So today, I want to make sure he understands 90% of the movie and history and the quiz ball competition, easy level, medium level, hard level. And you are going to compete with the very smart people, not only in the United States, but in Canada, in Europe, because your friend, parents are going to Europe for competition this year on National Geography B, but my other students are going there for France, for example.
Okay.
International history competition. And you're going to be there and you're going to have a lot of good time. Okay, the beginning is Lawrence of Arabia. I made a movie, I make a lesson plan, have a discussion of this movie 5 times. 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Before Matthew was born. I was teaching this movie before you were born. There's so much history behind it, and I'm very glad you did my homework. Now read loud and clear and ask me question. If you don't ask me a question, I will ask you. Go. Lord, go. Read loud and clear.
Lawrence of Arabia is a 1962 epic biographical adventure drama film directed by David Lean and produced by Sam Spiegel through his British company Horizon Pictures and distributed by Columbia Pictures. It was based on the life of T.E. Lawrence and his
So eventually we are going to study the whole life of T.E. Lawrence. This guy have so much important education, and look at this. He changed world history. Oxford, has some of the best education, and he's famous to be a spy, the master spy of the British Empire. So this guy changed world history for the good, for the bad. And I actually have this book. I never finished reading it. I should. This book is definitely his self-promotion. I think this guy got the Nobel Prize of Literature or something like that. It's supposed to be a very good book. I only read a little bit. But now I should finish it. Okay, because I'm teaching you. Okay. Now keep on going, and we're going back to study T. Lawrence's life and his book. It's a pretty good writing because I read probably 10% of the book. Go. The film.
the film stars Peter O'Toole as Lawrence.
Okay. And I watch so many of his movies, especially historical movie, and they will test you about this guy's life. He's so famous and he did a lot of historical movie, and it will help you. He will help you to know to win the history B. For example, Man in La Mancha. This movie is about Spain. Don Quixote, the only book worth reading in Spanish literature. The only book. The rest of them, I don't waste my time. Okay. Don Quixote de la Mancha. Don Quixote de la Mancha. I have this book somewhere here. I read that in Chinese and English. This is a German, the evil empire of the Roman Empire, Zulu Africa.
Hmm.
It's a wonderful movie. Zulu Empire fight with the British Empire and being crushed.
Huh.
Beautiful, beautiful movie. Especially the one, the last emperor of China, Puyi. See, we make this one into our program using wonderful movie, the masterpiece movie to study history, and you are going to be the best. Make sense? You have to, because you have the
Hmm.
best material available to you. So, and even this movie, for you to understand the Chinese history, is the best. Why don't you humor me? Just read one paragraph, okay? Because I enjoy this movie. I love this movie. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Go. The Last Emperor. It's based upon real history. Anyway, go.
Got it. The Last Emperor Italian is a 1987 epic biographical drama film about the life of Piu the Last
Pu Yi, this
Pu
dude.
Yi
I visited his palace in Changchun City.
Pu.
Changchun City in China. I
Okay.
visited his palace. So he had two palaces, one in Beijing, one in Changchun City.
An epic biographical drama film about the life of Puyi, the last emperor of China. It is directed by Bernardo Bertolucci with the screenplay he co-wrote with Mark Peopley,
Mm.
which was adapted from Puyi's 1964 autobiography and
Actually, I finished the whole book.
wow.
I finished whole book in Chinese. 你能读中文吗？
会。
你读一下是会读吗？这个
OK，我的前半生，
不错耶。Okay, of course not this one.
我
It's
的前
not that
半
stupid
生百，
movie. 我的前半生。See, these are the disgusting stuff. Okay, but this one is 溥仪，我的前半生。Okay, so he's the last emperor of China and he's the boy emperor. Look at this one. Here's a picture. His
哼，
life, his boyhood. When he was a boy, he was a Chinese emperor. And then he was kicked out. And he run away to the northeast part of China. And he become a puppet emperor of Japan empire. And he was a POW of the Soviet Union. And then he was in prison in China. And then he was released and he wrote a book and made a lot of money. And he sold 2 million, 2 million of them. Of course, this book is a debasement of himself. It may not be historical very accurate. It may not be historical very accurate.
Hmm.
Okay, so now you can learn so much. Okay, you can learn so much. You can learn so much. For example, even from watching this movie, okay, just read a little bit to humor me because we are reading, we are studying the whole world history. One thing to another is also very important. Now, later on, I want you to watch this movie with your parents, especially, go.
By 1950, the 44-year-old Puyi, former emperor of China, has been in custody for 5 years since his capture by the Red Army during the Soviet invasion of Manchuria. the recently established People's Republic of China, Puyi arrives as a political prisoner and war criminal at the
Fushan is a real prison. He was in this prison. 抚顺战犯管理所. Okay, war criminal. They put war criminal there, including the Chinese POW and Japanese prisoner of war. And I think right now it's a museum. Okay, it's a very, very important prison for POW. Go ahead.
Soon after his arrival, Puyi attempts to suicide, but is quickly
Suicide, kill himself.
suicide.
Kill himself.
Suicide, what's the difference? Anyway.
Okay.
But is quickly rescued and told he must stand trial. 42 years earlier, in 1908, a toddler Puyi is summoned to the Forbidden City by the dying.
I mean, how old he was? 44, 2-year-old. 2-year-old, he become an emperor.
By the dying empress.
Yeah.
慈禧
太后. Say 慈禧.
Okay. After telling him that the previous emperor had died earlier that day, Cixi tells Puyi that he is to be the next emperor. After his coronation, Puyi, frightened by his new surroundings, repeatedly expresses his wish to go home, but it is denied. Despite having scores of palace eunuchs.
Eunuch. What is a eunuch? Read it.
A eunuch is a male who has been castrated. Throughout history, a castration often serves a specific social function. The earliest
castration. So these male get their male function cut off. Okay.
And maids who wait on him. His only real friend is his wet nurse, Mo. Wang Liangxiao was a Chinese court lady. She was the imperial wet nurse of Puyi.
White nurse, I mean, a woman, not read it. A white nurse is a woman who breastfeed and care for another people's child. Okay, because Puyi's mom are not going to give her milk to eat. So they hire a white nurse. Okay. So this woman is famous, white nurse. Okay.
Okay. And as he grows up, his upbringing is confined entirely to the imperial palace, and he's prohibited from leaving. One day, he is visited by his younger brother, Pu Jie.
Pu Jie is a real person.
Yeah.
Is a real person. So this guy go to Japan to be trained as a military officer. And then later on, he also become a POW, prisoner of war, and then released to become a common citizen. Okay.
Yeah.
He married a Japanese aristocratic person.
He tells them that he is no longer the emperor and that China has become a republic. At the same day, Mo is forced to leave. In 1919, Reginald Johnson is
this guy is very famous, a British person, Scottish diplomat and colonial officer who served as a tutor and advisor to Puyi, the last emperor of China. He was also the last British commissioner of Wei Hai Wei. He wrote a book called The Twilight in the Forbidden City. Talk about the Qing Dynasty's decline. And of course, he made a lot of money out of the book. And he became the so-called Chinese expert because he's a friendship with the Chinese last emperor, the boy emperor. Go ahead. Okay. Tutor and gave him a Western-style education. And you have a Western-style education. Go ahead.
And Puyi becomes increasingly
desires to leave the
Forbidden City. Johnson, wary of the courtier's expensive lifestyle, convinces Puyi that the best way of achieving this is through marriage. Puyi substantially weds
Wan Rong is actually real person. The Manchu
with
plain white
Wen
婉
Xi.
容
With Wen Xi.
文旭
Wen Xi as a secondary
second.
concert.
So what is the second consort? Second wife. So this is the first wife, second wife. It's a real person. Okay, real person.
He then sets about reforming the Forbidden City, including expelling the palace eunuchs.
Unit, yes.
However, in 1924, he himself is expelled from the palace and exiled to Tianjin following the Beijing coup.
What is coup? Coup d'état. Coup d'état mean the military officers and military soldiers kick out the government. OK， 这是天津，天津，天津。你看，这是有 two spelling， Tianjin 是 old spell of the city's name. Right now, the name is Tianjin. Tianjin is a very big city near Beijing. This means coup d'état. The soldiers kick out the emperor. Okay, go. He lived a decadent life as a playboy. You know what a playboy? Wealthy man with ample time to leisure, do nothing. Anglophone, he loved everything English. Go.
Playboy and an Anglophile, and sides with Japan after the Mokden.
Mokden. No, write it down. Where's your notebook? Mokden is a Shenyang in Chinese. Mokden incident, very important incident in World War II. So you study World War II, you need to know the Mokden incident. Okay, now you take notes of Mokden incident and do further research. Go.
The Mukden incident was a false flag event staged by the Japanese military personnel as a pretext for the 1931 Japanese invasion of Manchuria.
Now write it down. 918事件，918事件。September the 8th， 看看都在郝老师脑子里背下来了。OK，September the 8th, 1931, Japanese invaded Manchuria. The Empire of Japan, 关东 Army, 关东 Army, invaded Manchuria. The region of the Republic of China on 郝老师记下来吗？918 18th September 1931. Can you write it down for me? Mukden is a city, 现在叫沈阳。Mukden.
沈阳, okay.
沈阳. Okay, so it's a very important city and the Chinese was slaughtered. Okay, Japanese troops enter Shenyang. See, I'm right. Write it down. Mukden means Shenyang, formerly known Manchu name Mukden. So the Manchu name, the Chinese name is Shenyang, Chinese language. Manchu name is Mukden, is a sub-provincial city in China and the provincial capital of Liaoning province. Very important city. And the Japanese see their soldier occupy China, slaughter a lot of Chinese. Make sense? And it's a false flag attack of China. And see the 中文叫什么？给我读一下，叫
Okay.
918事变。
918事变。
沈阳事变。
沈阳事变。
啊，然后呢，这个日本的名字叫满洲事变，日本的名字。OK， 918。This is the this is the palace I visited. 看一下，看能看懂多少。Okay, I visited this palace many years ago. Right now it's a museum. German warfare against Chinese. They conduct So we can learn so much history and literature, especially through wonderful movies. And you can enjoy your summer. We'll learn so much about human civilization with usually. Okay, read it. Go ahead. Read the city name. Harbin, Heilongjiang province. Read it for me.
Harbin, Heilongjiang province.
This is my hometown. I came from Harbin.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So now you know all my secret. You know all my secret. And you're a dangerous person already. OK， 好吗？你下一个 homework 跟你妈妈看看能不能看这个叫 Last Emperor。Can you write it down？ 写下来。The Last Emperor The Last Emperor 1987。必须得是1987。Bright Young Thing. Is that history? No, it's not history. Troy is definitely history. Now read it for me. Go. Troy
is a 2004 epic historical action film directed by Wolfgang Peterson and written by David Benioff, produced by produced by units in Malta, Mexico, and Britain's Chaperone Studios. The
不错，不错，不错。Congratulations. Now I give this homework to you and 另外一个作业，今天跟同学提到了去看另外一个我很喜欢的历史电影《最后的皇帝》The Last Emperor。Emperor 讲溥仪的一生，讲中国最后一位皇帝溥仪的一生。OK， 好，I'm going to send you the link. Now this is the person, and you need to remember this guy's name. He's very, 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 very famous. Okay. And he wrote so many, he did so many movies. Othello, King Lear, Midsummer Night's Dream, Man and Superman, Hamlet. Of course, he did Hamlet.
Sure.
Yeah. Kidnap. Very famous film built upon Robert Louis Stevenson's classical novel, Kidnap. It's a boy's book. It's a boy's book. You can check out the book from your public library, from your school. You don't need to buy it. Okay. And he joined the Royal Shakespeare Company. Okay, and did Merchant of Venice. Wow. The Taming of the Shrew is a comedy. And see, of course, the most famous one is Lawrence of Arabia stardom, push him to the superstar. Yeah, I think this guy makes so much money out of it. Okay, superstar. Of course, we go back to our wonderful movie. And not plot. Read the plot and we talk about it.
Lawrence dies in a motorcycle accident in 1935. His life is memorialized at service at St. Paul's Cathedral.
St. Paul's Cathedral in London. It's very famous architecture. Oh, no, can you write it down? St. Paul's Cathedral. Ask your parents to bring you there. Yeah. Yeah, this summer you're going to be in London, so that's your homework. Go.
But it becomes clear that many influential Britons dislike him. During the First World War, Lawrence is a misfit British Army lieutenant, notable for his insolence and education. Mr. Dryden of the Arab Bureau,
Arab Bureau, the political officer.
Buru sends him to meet with Colonel Harry Bryden, who is advising Prince Faisal in his revolt against.
Okay. Homework. Research Faisal the First. Okay. Let's read a little bit. And he was the king of Iraq. The king of Iraq till 1933. Was he killed or he was exiled? Okay. Yeah, to his death. A member of this Hashemite family, he was the leader of the Great Arab Revolt during the First World War and ruled as unrecognized king of Syria. I think he got killed, yeah, to 1933 eventually. But you know from this movie, he's very famous. Go. Revolt against Turkish people, Ottoman Empire. Okay, go.
Okay. Lawrence is outraged when his guide is ruthlessly killed by Sherif Ali bin al-Karish for drinking from Ali's well without permission. He accuses Ali of being an uncivilized barbarian and is dismayed to learn that Ali is Faisal's advisor. Relations between the United Kingdoms and the Arabs are polite but tense. While Britain will supply guns to Arab, it will not provide artillery, which would make Faisal an independent force after the war. Biden asks Faisal to fall back and help the British defend the Suez Canal. Lawrence
And
finally
you need to know the Suez Canal, right? Suez Canal connect what to what? The Indian Ocean with Mediterranean Sea. Okay. And you need definitely. Oh, this one is a geography, very important thing for the geography. Not read the first paragraph. Oh my God.
The Suez Canal is an artificial sea level waterway in Egypt, connecting the
See, I was right. From the Mediterranean Sea
Mediterranean
to the
to
Red
Red Sea
Sea.
through the Isthmus of Suez and dividing Africa and Asia,
Yeah, Africa
and
and
by
Asia.
an extension the Sinai Peninsula from the rest of Egypt. The 193.3
120 miles canal.
kilometer long, 120.11 mile canal is a key trade route between Europe and
Europe.
Asia.
So if Europe and Asia trying to do business through the big ships, they have to go through the Suez Canal. So the British Empire makes so much money from the Suez Canal, and they have an army there. Go. Lawrence violated his order. Go.
Lawrence violates his orders by encouraging Faisal to attack. Faisal is impressed by Lawrence's familiarity with the Quran and his honesty about the British interests in Arabia. Lawrence convinces Faisal to launch a surprise attack on the port of Aqaba to
So this is a seaport, and Aqaba will always be in your test. This one is currently still a very important city. Very important city. Is on the seaside. It's very important in doing business. Okay, so you can research a very ancient historical city, Aqaba. Go to improve his supply line.
improve his supply lines. Ali protests, but as Aqaba is protected from land attacks by the harsh Nifud Desert and the local Turkish enforcer Houtat tribal leader Adwa Abu Tai, Faisal gives Lawrence just 50 men. Lawrence
Wow,
also hires teenage orphans Dald and Faraj as his attendants.
they all died eventually, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that.
They all died. So this leader, this guy, this is also a real person, commander of the People Desert Falcon. So this is another Arab tribe. Go. The march to Aqaba. Go.
Uh,
The march.
The march to Aqaba. This demonstrates Lawrence's cunning and charisma. He
What is
went
charisma anyway?
charm. I forgot.
Charming personality. So you people use the charisma, God's gift. Some people just like you. Some people, like everybody love them, want to follow them, want to die for them. That's called charisma. Charm. Good job.
He wins over Faisal's men by turning back into the desert to rescue Ghazib, a lost Arab. The grateful Arabs give Lawrence traditional Arab clothing. Lawrence in turn grows to admire the Arab civilization. In addition, Lawrence convinces Alda to switch sides by promising a vast Turkish gold hoard at Aqaba. The Arabs begin relying on Lawrence as the outsider to the arbitrate tribal disputes. Lawrence is shaken when he is forced to execute Gazim to prevent an all-out conflict.
Wonderful.
Lawrence and Ada capture Aqaba, but there is no gold. To placate Ada,
Placate.
placate
Let me make
Lawrence
you not angry. Please don't be angry. Go. I
Lawrence
gave you gold.
agrees to ask his superiors in Cairo for more money. Dald is drowned by quicksand.
What is the quicksand? What is the quicksand?
So quicksand isn't actually real.
It's real.
No, but then it's quick mud. Because quicksand.
Oh.
Because there's there's a very big difference with quicksand. Quicksand, there's no water, so it's like it doesn't act like a fluid. And plus when you step on it, like all those molecules condense, and that's when like there's like these like bigger chunks that sort of like embed into your foot. That's pretty annoying. But then for mud, like it's sort of like a semi-liquid. So there is quick mud, not quicksand.
Okay. Good. So his friend died, right? This guy died, miserable died.
In Cairo, Lawrence perplexes the British officers with his Arab clothes and his insistence that Faraj can be treated with the same respect as a white person. General Edmund Allenby promotes him to major and
Okay. This guy is a real person. He controls all the personnel in
Cairo.
And yeah, he eventually occupied Jerusalem, Jaffa, and most important, he occupied eventually Jerusalem, the most important city in the Middle East, Jerusalem. So this guy eventually became famous. Okay, promoted to major. He got promoted. Go.
Promoted to major and reached to back with the Arabs with arms and money. Lawrence confesses that he is worried about his own bloodthirstiness, but Allenby dismisses his concerns. Before returning to his desert forces, Lawrence asks Allenby whether the Arabs are correct that the British seek to dominate Arabia and demands artillery for Faisal's army. To please Lawrence, Allenby lies to him on both counts. He privately worries that Lawrence has gone native.
Gone native. You love the native people more than you love the white people. Okay. Okay. So homework. We're almost finished today. I'm very proud of you that you actually did my homework. And now I want you to finish this introduction. And today I will give you more quizzes. Okay, Lawrence of Arabia, but eventually, maybe tomorrow we spend more time on this person, T.E. Lawrence, real life story. You study it a little bit yourself and ask me any question. I don't know I can answer you everything, but I probably the best person to ask. Probably. For example, 7 Pillars of Wisdom is on my bookshelf. One of the bookshelf, I need to find it out and finish reading the book so I can teach you. Make sense? So it's a very hard job to teach you, yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I have to study with you and we study wonderful things together. And the next one we're going to study is movie The Last Emperor. Movie The Last Emperor. So this little boy. Okay. Okay. You don't have to, but you are highly suggested because when you watch these movies, you learn so much from history and you will win the national prize and you're going to make me proud. And yourself proud and both your parents will celebrate. What's the name of your older brother?
My name of my older brother is Ethan Yang.
Ethan Yan. Yeah, of course. Ethan love science. So I'm going to meet with him sometime this week. But you are going to do the National History B. We do world history, US history, everything else, and maybe even geography. We're going to have fun together. Okay. See you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, keep on reading this wonderful book, The Killer Angels. How about that? Okay, and tomorrow you're going to read one chapter for me and we discuss. Look at this map, military map. Okay, they are fine. I'm going to study them again. Finish The Spy, right? The Spy is a wonderful dude. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Same time. Bye.